Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the World Class Basics pod. It has been a while. Oh my. So we thought we'd kick it off with a bang. Look who I've got with me. Of course, it's Adam, bottom, and Liam in the middle. How are we doing, boys?
All good, my man. Good to see your face. Unbelievable setup there, T, whoever's watching.
You wouldn't have known, would you?
Placement.
Yeah, he's got some. Have you recently been working with a certain brand or two?
What were you on about? You know,
you were sat in your living room, you had a coffee. Now he's moved to Chelsea.
Yeah, by the way, guys.
I was sat in a studio flat in Lark Hill, and now we're in Chelsea. What's happened?
now he's an influencer, ambassador. He's in Chelsea, living it. What have you been up to since last time?
I confess, I'm actually a professional drug dealer, Breaking Bad style. This is all for show. Can you imagine that? Oh my God! No, we have moved. I've moved to Chelsea. Oh my God, 4 months ago now. I think the last pod we were in the studio flat. So yeah, just moving in during the whole kind of madness with the pandemic and stuff. And yeah, that's it. I've just I've teamed up with Nocco and Pure Sport legends that they are. And yeah, we're looking forward to next year. I think everyone's looking forward to next year. But to be honest, I don't care what I've been up to, because Liam, there's an elephant in the room here, or there's a child in the room. What's happened?
Well, since last time, guys, I've had a son, Finn Lee James Holmes. He is here, healthy, strong.
Yeah!
Good boy.
Let's have a look at little legend. Look at him.
Hey, well, look at the biceps on him.
I don't think that.
Absolute guns. Dude, he's got serious guns. It's not even like rolls. It's just like proper guns. So, mate, he's unbelievable.
Get him on the pod at some point.
We'll get him as a little guest appearance. Don't worry, mate. He's unreal. So obviously, last few months for me have been a pretty unbelievable experience, and it's something you just roll with. And I can't imagine now, obviously, my life without him. And my missus has been unbelievable, and we are into an amazing routine. And for us, lockdown is just an unbelievable chance now to spend more time with him. But, mate,
yeah, family time.
Is his nutrition on point, Liam?
Mate, do you know what? So we like in his bottle, in his formula, like, mate, the first ingredient's whey protein.
Hydrolyzed whey as well.
You're missing a trick here, mate. You need to get weighed into baby formula. This is what honestly, bro, you'll be cleaning up. It's so expensive.
Mate, looking at Finley, he doesn't need it. He's doing all right as it is. This is why I'm just saying, if it's good enough for babies, for growing babies, you guys have got to be on it. But hey, I'm not gonna.
Well, let me know his macro split, man.
Mate, it's on the max formula, mate. It's on the all-in-one. He's got all of the vitamins.
Keto, baby.
Yeah. But no, lads, we've just been doing that, and trying to take it from a nutrition point of view as usual. But yeah, happy days. Ad, what have you been up to? Give us an update.
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, I've actually moved as well. Not penthouse like Mr. Lowe, but I've moved back to the motherland that is Cornwall. So yeah. Didn't make the most of the stamp duty because it's not my missus's first home, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, we're down here now, and actually lockdown here is don't want to rub it in or anything, but I'm 3 minutes from Fistral Beach, so it's just madness down there.
Proper, right down there then.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I mean, it's been a few firsts. So first home, but also first time with makeup on. I did a shoot a few weeks ago. Yeah, so we were doing some shooting for Wade and film and stuff, and they were like, you probably want to have some stuff on your forehead to stop the shine. I was like, great. You know, I've got slightly shiny forehead sometimes when I'm sweating. So they're like, got to get a makeup artist in. I was like, great, happy days. This sounds good. I just thought they'd be brushing the forehead, you know, every so often like they do on Match of the Day. Full face paint. I was in the chair for 25 minutes. I had stuff for your eyebrows. I had bronzer. I had the lot. That's a first. It'd probably wouldn't be the last either.
Imagine if we had to go down there and get a makeup thing. That's a roller for our to get the shine.
Like, what the hell are we going to do with this? Why I got the headband on?
Waistcoat, primer or something.
I need to get an uplighter or something, not a downlighter in there.
Wait there as well. Ad, you missed one important part. You dropped vanilla on us. I have to put that out there.
Vegan and a vegan protein.
And a vegan protein. We've been busy, and we've got more to come, so.
Boys.
Yeah.
Slow down. Do
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's been a big year and also I've signed up to the PH Hub. I know we're just dropping names, but I don't know if you've been on it, Tom, but it's just Liam's Hub. It's just ridiculous. The amount of content that's on there for £5 a month.
He's not even a PH paid athlete to say that. I didn't even know.
But yeah, it's good. A bit of learning during lockdown, but it's good. I'm glad the podcast is back up and running. We were just saying before we came on actually that we decided to do our first podcast randomly out of the blue in like March, and then we went into lockdown. We talked about doing this one a few weeks ago. We were going to do loads face to face, and then we go into a second lockdown. So we do feel a little bit cursed. So apologies.
Yeah.
But you know,
the face to face will happen.
Yeah, we'll let you know before we film the third series.
It will be.
Maybe we should let you know so you can plan when the next lockdown is. Because we started booking things and then Boris. Right, I say we get into it, and let's talk about something that I think everybody's struggling with at the moment, and struggling to do. Kind of both fall into the same avenue is motivation and being positive and positivity. Goodness me, what a couple months it's been. Once again, another lockdown, the ups and downs of all that. I don't know about you guys, but for me, fantastic news. Biden finally beat Trump. But we're going to kind of talk about how we deal with, motivational issues and being positive, give you a couple of tips, and hopefully that'll help. So I'll start. And before we go into this, I want to say that you have to understand that I am a single man living on his own. Okay. So I am not going to start preaching to families out there who have 3 kids, jumping up and down at them and waking them up at 5 a.m. I'm just going to give my tips and pointers of how I go about the day positively. And if you are also living on your own, then this is quite poignant to you. And then we now have a family man in the pod who might be able to help. And then obviously, Adam, I'm sure you've got loads of tips and pointers as well with the kind of business stresses that you've been going through as well. So let's take it like this, guys. If you're finding yourself in a bit of a negative rut and routine, you've got to ask yourself how you start your day. And I drilled this into me a long time ago. You can start your day negatively, or you can start it quite grouchy. I promise you, it'll just follow you through the day. And I've got myself into a routine now, even if I don't want to. I wake up and I put music on, and it's always feel-good music. It doesn't matter what, James Brown or anything like that. And it's like feel-good playlists. And sometimes I wake up in terrible moods, and the music just gets you going. You go for your shower, you go for your wash, you start making your coffee, and all of a sudden that kind of doom and gloom attitude that I'd started with is gone, because I've put my mind into the song that's being played and I forgot what I was annoyed about. So that's number one. If you can, when you wake up, put some music on, some feel-good music, and I promise you, it'll really, really help. That's the first thing I'd say. I don't know what you boys think about that. Yeah. Again, like I said, if you live with someone, it might be harder to do.
Yeah, if you follow, if you're not following Tom on Instagram, you bloody well should do. But
not very nice.
In the morning, but I think it's become a thing, hasn't it? Like, do you feel that even doing that, like holding yourself not accountable to kind of put it on your stories and, do the kind of coffee mornings and get it out there and do a little dance and stuff, but because you're doing that naturally kind of helps, even if you're doing it just for social media, it actually kind of in turn helps you.
100%. Like people were like, have messaged me, do you actually do that? And I promise you, I have been doing this for a long time, but I thought I would share it, and it snowballed, and the messages you get are so amazing. Thank you, or I was feeling really negative and now I'm going to go about my day, and people sending in song requests, and you can see, and sometimes I do not want to do it. I promise you, I'm just like, I'm sore, I didn't sleep too well, or something like that. And then I do it, and I leave so much, you know, in such a better mood. I leave so much more happy on my way to work. And it's, yeah, it is. It's kind of it helps me as well, just as much as I hope it helps people. But like I said, it's not just a fad. It's not just for show. I'm sure if you knock next door to my neighbor and you ask them what happens usually at 6:15 most days, I'm putting music on. But so that was my tip number one, is try to start your day as positive as possible, because it will follow you throughout the day. And like I said, it doesn't have to be music. Maybe go online and read a couple positive quotes, or watch something inspirational really quickly, anything like that. Or if you do live with someone, immediately, even if you had the row the day before, give them a compliment. Hey, good morning, you look beautiful, or whatever it needs to be. Anything like that. You just start with some positivity, and I promise you, it will come straight back at you. But if you wake up and you say, good morning, I still hate you, by the way, trust me, your day's going to go like that. So that's the first one.
I had a client who, Cyril, who was a coach at Chase Misses up in Manchester now, works for Red Pill Training. He said to me, like, Liam, no matter what time of the day it is, like whatever time I have to get up, he said he always used to get up 15, 20 minutes just so he could have a coffee and read a little bit. I think it was like, just like, no matter what time, because he said that sets me up, it starts me. So he'd be up like 4:30. If he knew he had to get up for 5 to travel or whatever, it didn't matter what time, he would always kind of get up and start his day in that way. And when he said that to me, I was like, it's such a nice thing to do. Like you say, you start, you know, you get the ball rolling, and if whatever it is,
exactly.
Like I say, it doesn't have to be music. It can be read 4 pages of a book, or like you say, listen to something, whatever it is, or have a bit of quiet time, even with a tea or coffee or whatever. I think, like I say, in the right way is a really good thing.
No, it's discipline. It might sound a bit naff, but you know, this just came from the military. But one thing is to make your bed. Just start. A lot of people don't do it, right? And just to start the day, make your bed. There you go. You've literally accomplished one task immediately. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds cheesy, but just by not doing that, I know deep down it'll agitate a lot of you. Oh God, I was lazy again. I didn't even make the bed. I don't know. Maybe I'm sad. I do actually take pride when I made the bed. I look and I'm like, yes, and then I crack on.
It feels good.
When you were in military, and you were doing these 6 a.m. dances, were they getting a bit annoyed? Or was it?
No. So in training, in basic training, when you all got woken up and you're getting shouted at, it wasn't like that, unfortunately. But when you leave basic training, you get your own place, you get your own pad, right? So I've always been doing it, but when it was in a group environment, I didn't want to impede on everybody else. I don't think I would have lasted long either. I would have been bloody buried in the camp. So yeah, that was tip number one. You know, find a way. It doesn't have to be music, or like I said, but try and start, you know, as positive as you can, and do something that's rewarding, or you know, like Liam said, have a coffee, read a book, something. Just give time for you at the very start of the day, or give a compliment to your spouse, etc., etc. The second thing I was gonna bring up is, especially through this period of now, is I do feel a lot of people are kind of bottling everything up, and people are scared to moan, or you know, because there's a lot of negativity going on, and we're all trying to preach positivity, and I preach positivity all the time. But remember, we are allowed to moan, and you need to do it. You need to vent, and you need to get off your chest. Now, I would steer away from moaning and venting on social media. I do think that's where we get this negative kind of suction. However, choose a friend. He will have no drama in me saying this, but Faisal, for me, over lockdown has been unbelievable. So from time to time, we just voice note each other, and these voice notes can never be shared because we are going at it. Like, and I will just blurt out, you know, all my negative thoughts, and I'm struggling with this, and fuck this, and it can be quite rude. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, after, you just feel amazing. I feel better. He'll then give advice, or I give advice back to him. This one time I had a big old rant about something that was going on in my life. And he just said, dude, you know, that person in that situation, they're not in your life anymore. So why are you wasting energy on it? Just leave it. He's like, you're right. You're going to fix nothing by fixating all this energy on it. Just park it. And I promise you, it was like, boom, gone.
Yeah.
So tip number 2 would be someone you trust, brother, sister, family, best friend. If you don't have anyone, you can, bring up Samaritans. You can talk to anybody, but just find someone you can vent to, because we cannot bottle all this 2020 up. It is okay to get stressed, and it's okay to want to just tear into something. You just need to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
I think that's important, because I think the people that do use social media and follow people like yourself and Faisal, naturally they're going to see that you're bouncing around the room, you're smiling all the time, and that's what you need to be doing in the mornings. But actually what's really interesting to hear is that actually that's not 100% of your life. You're choosing to be positive, but also people might think, oh, Tom's fine, he's always happy, but it's not always the case. And I think it's good for people to hear that everyone else is feeling, no matter if you're a glass half full or the whole bottle's full in your case. It's it's good to know that, not good to know, but you're not, you have your downtime as well. So
100%, mate. And it's just like I say, my personal belief is I just don't feel social media should ever be used for that kind of negative hate on hate or rant. I just feel like it really creates something we don't want, and that's why I will only choose my page to be positive. I might shout at Boris every now and again, but I feel like it's the one place you need to go, and you do need to see positivity, and I think that's the only way it should be. And I know it's not, but that's just the way I see things. But yeah, and you're right. I remember, I think it was quite early on the pod days I came on, and it just wasn't right, wasn't it? I was all over the place. I said, boy, I can't do it today, and you boys really helped me, and we had a chat, and we rescheduled, right? So it's like I said, you just need to find somebody or somewhere where you can vent and get rid of this stress, because if you're not stressed this year, then goodness gracious me, I need to meet you. Because it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah, like you say, I think it's very good to open up and say, like, because people will look at you and other people, and social media is a snapshot, isn't it, of what's going on, and it isn't papering over like always be positive, like you should always be 100% and crushing it, and actually it is okay to make sure that you, I think, channel that in the right direction, and then also, like you say, have this other channel where you can just kind of like vent a little bit, and so it doesn't impact that side of things. So I think that's really good, T.
Yeah.
I
got one more, and then I've got that's my little tips. That's my little tips.
3 tips.
It's going to be an obvious one and a cheesy one. Guys, train in any way, whatever it may be, whether it's ping pong, tennis, lifting weights, Pilates. I promise you, if you're not training in any way whatsoever, you're just not going to get the good endorphins. You're not going to see progress in yourself and your health, and it's just everything. The community you can build from it as well. So say through this lockdown, or you're not a very active person, I know a lot of the listeners are, but just get that into your life more and more and more, and just watch what happens. Again, I'm not even going to kind of say what you should do. Just train, find a way to move, and see what happens after. Feel the good endorphins, and you'll want to do it again. That's a really basic tip, but they're my 3 tips.
Amen to that.
Yeah, Ad, I think you're the same as me. Is that sometimes training can seem like, oh, I've got to train to achieve a certain body composition or a certain weight lifted or whatever. Was actually, I use it, and I think you said you've used it, in terms of a massive switch off from work. And sometimes it's like a clarity point, a thing for me. Like if I train, it's the only time I don't really think about kind of work or whatever. And actually then it just refreshes my mind, and I can come back and you feel a little bit more motivated to kind of get at things. So they say, Tom says, like, train. It doesn't mean going and lifting weights. It could be, like, say, walking, running, rowing, playing a sport. It doesn't mean, to anything. But like you say, training your brain or training in some form and switching it off, I think that's wicked, mate.
Does drinking cans of Nocco on repeat classify as training, Tom?
This one is caffeine free.
Oh, caffeine
my
free,
third of the day. Yeah.
What happens if you mix CBD with Nocco?
In terms of
counteracts
with the caffeine?
It hands together.
So someone said this to me actually. Someone messaged me on Instagram because they saw me putting drops of CBD into my coffee. Personally, for me, I don't find that it calms me down in terms of when I like. Someone said, "Aren't you making yourself like sleepy and then giving yourself caffeine?"
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, I put the CBD drops into my coffee for what it does for me, for my aches and pains and the kind of anxiety and stuff like that. Trust me, I've never had a problem with energy in any way. Or so it's just for me personally, it's not been an issue. They do recommend a couple of drops before bed. So just trial and error on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a sleeping tablet, is it? I mean, I have it before bed, but it doesn't send me to sleep. But when I am asleep,
Better quality.
I tend to sleep better.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's yeah, for me, it's the aches and pains, the anxiety. Not that I have crazy anxiety, but I do have worries, man. And for me, this maybe it's placebo, but like I said, I've tried it. I've tried weeks without it, and I've done loads of stuff with Roop where I've looked at my sleep and analysis, and the proof is there. My sleep is better. I sleep longer. My sleep is better. I'm going to do a little study or post a little study about it in a couple of weeks' time, because I do feel it's important. And I think it's a massive taboo topic. People still think this is bloody marijuana.
I don't want to talk more about sleep because it's a sore subject. So.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You can be drinking liters of CBD. Man. It's not going to help.
Oh man, I had such a bad night's sleep, like 9 hours, and
yeah,
10 hours. So,
but green zone for Liam is 2 hours sleep, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's not been too bad. But mate, motivation for me at the moment, like I was actually, it's so challenging. Anybody that has sleep deprivation from any kind of source, whether that's shift work, parenting, whatever. It's so tough. It's really tough to kind of, and I say I love training, love going to the gym and doing it, but when in the first few weeks, man, I just didn't want to do it. And when I was there, it was really tough. So, I did take some time away and, like you say, needed to get that motivation back. But kind of my tip is when I wasn't motivated, and if I sat around waiting to be motivated to train, I would have probably never have got back to it. So for me, like action equals motivation, and maybe people have heard this before, but you need to do something, and it needs to be small. It doesn't need to be like a massive, but you need to do something. And once you do it, you're like, okay, I kind of feel good now, and it might be a 10-minute run. It might be 10 minutes mobility. It might be, I don't know, a few press ups and sit ups in the morning. It doesn't need to be much, but once you do it, it's that snowball effect and that action. And then you start to get motivated again to get back into it and be like, okay, I kind of want to train again. I want to do this, get fit, I feel healthier, blah, blah, blah. So for my tip for motivation is actually, if you wait around for motivation, you're probably going to be waiting for a long time. And you need action. And, for me, that's what I did. I wasn't doing, again, I've said this before, like I stopped kind of doing Olympic lifting because it was such a big ask. And I just went back to doing a bit of strength training, went to the Pure Gym, started doing bench, rows, strict press, squats, really simple stuff that I didn't necessarily need to warm up with loads. Started using.
Did you wear over-ear headphones and a hoodie?
Mate, I didn't talk to anyone for about 3 weeks in the gym. So and then you get like the awkward nod that you see the geezers chain at the same time. You're like, yeah, you're right.
That's it.
That's it.
No, but I bet sometimes you dragged yourself there, right? Sometimes you literally have to drag yourself there. I bet then 10, 15 minutes in, you're so happy you got there, right?
That's it, mate. That you
have to drag yourself there.
And that action, exactly. You just kind of, it's not forcing yourself. I don't want people to be just saying like, doing something that you don't enjoy. But yeah, just getting that action, like say, forcing yourself maybe to just get there, because that actually once you do it, you're like, I feel so much better for it. And when you're sleep deprived and you don't want to get into that vicious circle of being like detrained, eating bad, sleeping bad, so there is, for me, I was like, my motivation was to be like, I know I feel better after doing this. And look, I'm nowhere near as fit as I was whenever, like before this, but I feel okay and I feel better. And now sleep's getting a tiny bit better. Then, like you say, your motivation snowballs and you can kind of, put it in the right direction to get back to some form of, structure. So I just think that that's what a lot of people miss. They kind of wait around for motivation. Like, before I let you jump in on this, like I posted something on Instagram the other week about the importance trap, and actually how some people go never actually get started because they put so much emphasis on a goal or something, you know, and they're like, oh, it's like I want to lose 5 kilos, 10 kilos, and I'll start Monday, or I'll start in January, or I'll start after my summer holiday. You know, and the problem is they put so much importance on this goal that actually they never get started. So for me, like, if you make small goals similar to UT, like just train, get up, be positive, you know, for me, just start doing something, all of a sudden, like, you know, you will work towards your goal. And I think if you are that person that's kind of always set a massive goal, or you know, always kind of be like, oh, Monday, it's always Monday's problem, or start Monday, then I was like, look, you got to start now. Don't start on a. You can start on a Thursday. You can start on a Sunday morning. It doesn't need to be like at the start of the week or the start of the year or whatever. So, just get it done. That's the.
I think the action breeds action one is something that it just always works in the same way that inaction breeds inaction. Like if you just sat at home, it's just easy to get. You know, Netflix just rolls through. Oh, it's just gonna.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard they're gonna? You know, it says, "Are you still watching?" Or you know, that after like 2 hours, they're taking that off apparently. So
so you can just roll through now.
Roll through Sunday, which is fine. But you know, I think if you're too inactive, I think that's in the same way that I don't know exact science. You're just gonna be bored, aren't you? You're not gonna have the motivation. Your point about motivation is really clever. Actually, I think people lack motivation rather than anything else during lockdown because they don't know what's going to happen. The fear of the unknown is massive, and everyone's in the same boat. We said this 6 months ago, but you know, you can't control what you can't control. So go for a walk, go for a run,
keep doing stuff. Yeah, you just got to keep doing stuff. Like these situations aren't going anywhere, you know, and life is tough. So you can get in that rut and doom and gloom it. But I tell you, we have one life, and I know it's cheesy, but I can see it. I've been to Afghan, I've seen war. It will be over at some point. So before that, get things done and enjoy it along the way, and just bring people with you. Like I said, I'm probably missed the cliche today, but I do genuinely believe it, and it does help and it does work, you know?
Yeah. How have you found, lads, in terms of your training motivation for lockdown? Because, mate, I was really struck. Like, I just don't want to do any dumbbells and burpees, if I'm honest. So I've got a rower coming.
I really struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've really.
You're so right.
New. Like, I need to do something new to keep me motivated. So I've got a rower coming tomorrow. At least that's going to give me something to you know, exactly new, rather than going.
An actual rower machine or a rowboat.
Geez, I'm you know, I get faint, you know, that big. I can't be like chowing down a rowboat. Like I need to get that stuff done in 25 minutes.
Do you not live on the Thames?
Taking it down to the river, all along Canterbury.
Oh, I love that. I imagine you doing.
Rower. I couldn't even get a concept too. I've got some other shocker of a rower, but it's gonna do. So, but yeah, you struggling a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm exactly the same. I couldn't do a burpee or a squat or a push up again. I did so much we did our home alone workouts, you know, in the first lockdown, and it's just. I think a lot of people are saying they had a load of motivation for the first lockdown. I'll do something different. I'll train at home. And I think this second one, people are like, I don't want to do that again. I want to still be in the gym, or I want to be able to see people. I'm a little bit lucky because I'm in a different place now, so I can just go and surf every day, which is what I've done 2 hours a day for the last 4 days. Just I'm very, very lucky. And I'll do that again.
Have you noticed a lot of people have got kit now? You know, there's that mad surge in price. I have noticed a lot of people got kit now, which is the same for me. Like I'm the same as you boys. That first lockdown, and I got I don't want to work out in my own living room, and like I've always wanted to go somewhere, but now I've actually got kit. But I found the big one for me is trying to join somebody in a workout or do a workout with somebody, whether it's Zoom or on Instagram. Guys, it makes such a difference. Like yesterday, I'll give you an example. I was in the laziest mood ever. I wasn't going to do anything. And I was rested. I had like wicked recovery. And then obviously Fergus is doing this madness. He's climbing Ben Nevis 32 times, right? And everyone was like, right, guys, we're all going to do, he's struggling for motivation. We're all going to do workouts today. And everyone started pinging their ideas through. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I was like, oh, Jesus. And then I saw a little workout. I was like, I'll do that with you. And all of a sudden, I was then doing a workout in my living room with all kit. And at the end, I was buzzing. But until that point, I wasn't going to do anything. So try and, reach out to people might like to work out, or follow some accounts that you think might help you, or they post good content and workouts, and try that way, because it is hard. And I totally feel I totally feel for everyone, but I do feel as well now a lot of people do have kit, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to following some of your workouts, even like just like you say, that rowing one, or doing something like one of my clients, Jamie Green, she did one on like just like say one piece of equipment. It was like a ski, but it was like an EMOM of like ski, pull-ups, press-ups, and one round of Cindy, Mary. And I was like, that's so good, because I actually I can row, I can do pistols, I can do press-ups, and actually it's something different because people have got a little bit of kit. So I think, like say, get on a couple of people and just say a month isn't that long, is it? Hopefully it's going to fly.
No, exactly. And you just made a very, very, very good point there. You made a wicked point. Let somebody do all the thinking for you. If you can't conjure up the mind strength to plan a workout, just find someone who's done it for you and jump on with them. And then all of a sudden you're in. You've just got to turn up then. Do you know what I mean? And the hard work is done, So, and there's plenty out there, trust me. There's a lot of workouts out there at the moment.
That's why PTs are so successful, right? Because they work. Having someone shouting at you, even if it's on a Zoom, it just makes you more accountable. So I think, awesome.
It's good, lads. Like I say, hopefully we're out. Like I say, Tom, it's going to end at some point. Hopefully we'll be back in the gym before Christmas. Hopefully people have kind of found this to be helpful in terms of, like I say, a few tips to take away. And it's the other thing is that I say this a lot to my clients and out to my people that follow me. You're doing better than you think. Like, a lot of people are doing better than they think, and they can be a little bit hard on themselves. So just the other thing is that sometimes we can be very guilty, especially in the CrossFit world, of just hammering ourselves all the time. And if we're not burying ourselves on double days or 4-hour sessions or back-to-backs or whatever, we almost feel guilty. And actually, I encourage my clients to be like an elite athlete. And I'm like, elite athletes don't train at 100% every single day of the week. And they also don't train at 100% every single day of the year. They have off seasons, they have winter breaks, they have, time off. They in the week their training load will undulate to allow the time to recover. So look, we've got another 3 weeks of lockdown left, just over. In that time, maybe use this time to deload. You probably haven't deloaded since last lockdown, so allow a little bit of a deload. Then you've only got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, let's go. I think if we can just kind of frame it like that, maybe use some of these motivational tips. Don't know what you guys think.
Food-wise, Liam, if you're deloading, just very quickly, does it have to change that? Do lower calories, lower carbs, but keep the protein up, maybe?
I definitely think adjusting it slightly. I wouldn't say that. It depends what your goal is. Okay, so if you're deloading, and you're maybe trying to lose a bit of body fat, then maybe dropping carbohydrates and fats and keeping protein relatively consistent would be a really sensible thing. So overall calories drop slightly. But if you're trying to get stronger, if you're struggling to potentially put on muscle mass or weight, then keeping your intake relatively high during that deload week will help you to almost kind of like repair, regenerate, put a little bit of fuel in the tank effectively, but allow your body to have the raw materials to build and grow. So then you're basically recovering from a physiological point of view, maybe hormonal point of view, energy point of view, from the heavy sessions that you've been doing. Then you've only got maybe kind of 2, 3, 4, 5 days before you're going back into training, and then you're going to be fueled going into that and feeling amazing. So when you hit a new block of training, you're going to be flying, as opposed to restricting your intake And then, it's like that day after a rest day when you feel a little bit sluggish, and it takes you a couple of days to get back into it. So identifying what your goal is, but keeping protein intake consistent, and then adjusting carbs and fats if you want to gain muscle or lose a bit of body fat. So I hope that kind of helps.
Yeah, I've got one final fun fact. If you started an advent calendar tomorrow, it will end on lockdown's final day, in theory. So go out, buy an advent calendar.
We're going double advent calendar.
Well, if you started yesterday, you go double advent calendar, so you could. But if you start an advent calendar tomorrow, by the time you have it's Christmas Day. That's the last day of lockdown. So
Addy, you better get this pod out soon, because it'll be wrong, and then for the
yeah, good point. If you start it's the 8th today, so if you start on
8 hours to get this out,
just have a couple of chocolates on the first day. So yeah, that's interesting. I heard that yesterday, so you can share that one. And also, last bit of advice for motivation: listen to this podcast. Go into your phone, Spotify, Apple, whatever. It's going to help you. It's helping us. Happy days.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's it. We're back. We're back at it. The World Class Basic Pod is back. A couple of months out of the game. We've got some wicked guests lined up. We're just going to wait until we can see them in person. I feel it would benefit everybody, and you guys will love that. But we're gonna start churning out some pods. So make sure you've got it liked, saved. Make sure you've got a notification that comes on once we're releasing these guys, and please share. And ready? I hope I remember this right. Send in your questions to info@worldclassbasics.com. Adam.
On the money, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant. For 6 months to learn.
Guys, it's a pleasure as always. Stay strong. Motivation tips today and positivity tips, guys. Just follow them. I promise you, it will help massively. And we'll be back with loads more world-class basic bits of advice, as we should say.
Good to see your faces, lad.
All right.
Yes,
thanks, guys. Speak to you soon, everybody.
Bye bye.